because this is a very compressed session. We have to evaluate 8 startup pitches, and I'll be playing those pitches because we took a last minute decision because there could be a lot of streaming issues. So we requested founders to hand in their pitches, and we'll play the pitch, and the founders will be here. They'll take quick feedback, and we'll move on from there. So let's start with you, with a short intro, 30, 35, 40, 50, 40.5 seconds. Simon, why don't you start?
Sure. So my name is Simon Olson. I pretty much know everybody on this team of investors, so that's interesting. But I have a background as an engineer. I've been doing ventures for a long time, doing quite a lot of startups investments. That has materialized into 2 different funds. So now I have a small pre-seed fund called Greens that invests into like unicorn alumni dropping out, doing new stuff, and then XY Ventures that does in investments into accelerated graduates, primarily in Bay Area in the States. So kind of niche.
Thank you so much, Simon. David, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi, my name is David Holm. I'm from Oslo in Norway, but grew up in Sweden. So I'm doing a lot of business on both sides of the border. So I actually commute between Oslo and Karlstad in Värmland. My background is from the IT industry, where I've been working most of my life. Since 2016, I set up a venture studio in Oslo called Explorico, working with tech startups. And since 2 years back, we started an accelerator fund out of Karlstad in Sweden called DigitalWell Ventures. It's a small pre-seed fund, similar to Simon's, a niche fund. But what we do is that we purely focus on our own accelerated companies within digital health and health tech.
Good. Thank you so much, David. You are in investment space with so many different things. I remember we were in a VC lab cohort together.
That's correct.
Yeah, but Simon,
and Simon was there as well.
Yeah.
Great. Evelina, would you like to take the next?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I've sort of lost my voice. But I'm Evelina. I'm from Stockholm. I work at Wellstreet. We're an early stage venture capital fund. Invest basically from an entrepreneur with an idea up to Series A. We are interested in many sectors, with perhaps a special focus on fintech and e-com. We're currently focused on Scandinavia, but also looking abroad. And we typically have a ticket size of between 200,000 to up to 500,000 euros as the first investment. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Evelina. Sami, you want to go, and then Anette?
Sure. Thanks, Naimul. Great to be part of this panel and the event. So Sami Ahvenniemi, I'm a partner at Vendep Capital. We are a P2P SaaS-focused fund from Finland. At our 3rd fund right now, 70 million that we're looking to place in early stage ventures from the region. Ticket size very flexible. Everything up to and including Series A is typically our entry point. And I said B2B SaaS only, so very focused on that.
Okay, B2B SaaS, got it. Anette.
Hi. So, long time angel investor, but now I'm representing Butterfly Ventures, which is the first carbon neutral and one of the most active Nordic VCs in deep tech. And we are really excited that we now have a 100 million euro fund that we're investing in or from, and we're just starting. And we're looking now, though, for the hidden gems in the world, but mainly from the Nordics. So we're looking into take leads in investments early on. If we can go for small tickets like 150,000 euros, and then up to end of A round, and probably B as well, depending on the growth of the company and so forth. But deep tech is really the focus here, with software components, robotics and stuff like that. Materials, of course, as well. So not an oddball now, but we have been oddballs for a long time, because everybody wants to do the fast growing, and we tend to wait and be diligent and so forth. But it's very exciting to be here. I'm very thankful to be invited, Naimul.
Thank you so much, Anette, that you could join us. I'll do, there are 2 things I want to discuss. First of all, I'd like to offer a big thanks to our screening jury. We got tons of pitches. and we had to go through a lot of them in a very short time space. So a big thank you to Beril, who joined us from Antler, Henrik, who joined us from J12, and Björklund, who could join us. He's an angel investor and advisor. Guys, thank you so much. We won't have time to bring you on stage today, but a big thank you from Nordic Startup Festival team and Nutty Ventures that you could do this. The way this runs is we have 8 pitches queued up. For the founders who have sent in their pitches and are listening, the pitching order is going to be pitched, the first pitch to 8th pitch. I'm going to speak it out. Pitch 1, it's Ivar One from Sirinor. Then we have Colleen coming from Heat. Yasser connecting from Bangladesh with Upon Wellbeing. Pratik from Fin Advance. Alina from Zili from Ukraine. Joshua Hartnett, Luis Medina, and his co-founder for Luma, and Sune. We just had you on the panel as well for Artilite. So that's the order. Eva from Srinor, Colin, that's number 2 with Heat, Yasser, Upon Wellbeing, number 3, Pratik, Fin Advance, Alina, Zili, Joshua Hartnett, Luis, Luma, and Sune Artilite. Okay, so I'm going to play the pitch, and then the founders can stay in here, and then we'll do a rapid feedback session from the jury in around 2 to 3 minutes, 3 minutes tops, around 5 minutes per startup. And then we'll do some like 5 minutes reflection at the end of the session. So I'll share my video now. Let's hope this works. So Ivar, here's your pitch. Yeah.
Everyone, my name is Ivar One, and I'm here to present Sirinor, a company that will revolutionize aviation by making it completely emissions-free. We have the only known patent for hydrogen electric engine that can be used for both subsonic and supersonic travel. A new company incorporated in Norway last year, and we have a subsidiary in India where most of our engineers reside. We won a bit of funding from grants and angels, but we need a lot more in order to develop a prototype engine. So we're raising about 2 million in seed funding this year, and we expect to raise additional Series A funding in 2023. So the problem that we're faced with is quite a massive one. The aviation industry is responsible for more than 12% of global transport-related CO2 emissions, or 915 million tons of CO2 in 2019. That's more than Germany. And on top of this, CO2 is just a third of aviation's climate impact. The rest come from the contrails and the NOx that is emitted through the heat of the combustion engines. Supersonic aviation is also making a comeback. That's fine, but it's 6 to 7 times more carbon intensive than normal travel, and this problem needs to be resolved. So aviation must become green, but these emissions are very hard to abate. We think that we will have our first prototype statically tested by 2025. And beyond that, there's an early exit opportunity. The next major milestone is to do a flight test with an aviation partner, which we believe we can do by 2027, after which we think we will be a unicorn exit. Further validation and certification is required before we can realistically fly commercially for the first time in 2032, which aligns quite well with the wider scaling of the green hydrogen economy. So thank you to the Nordic Startup Festival for hosting me and for all of you for listening, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Ivar, and it's over to the esteemed jury now. Yeah.
Is there an order or is it shout out?
Shout out, I would say.
I will be the quickest, I'm for certain. All right, so this is a venture that I really obviously like. It's hardware, it has environmental components, it's taking out and moving us forward. Supersonic speed, do we need to be in supersonic speed when we travel? Well, anywho, I think this is actually something I invested in hybrid before, and then also in space engines, which is on some kind of corn-related fuel. So I think this has a huge potential. Supersonics, yeah, of course, military needs it, but I was thinking more commercial because they were looking at that. As a time frame, this would work. it would be interesting to see what they have more under the hood and the testing and so forth that they have. IP is, of course, super, super interesting for a VC to have.
Thank you. Anyone else likes to go for next?
Sure, I'll go ahead. I reacted to the patent pending. I'm not really sure what that means, and I'm not really sure that like how far along you are in your patent process. But it'd be interesting to sort of understand what actually differentiates you. And then I really want to know more about the team, because in the end, I mean, if we're looking at a timeline to do the first prototype, which is essentially like 4 years out, or even more, I'd really like to understand who is behind this and why this is a lot more efficient than current investment opportunities in the space when it comes to fuel.
Got it.
Nevertheless,
Thank you,
interesting
Simon.
space.
I can just second that. Thanks for the pitch. And also what I was missing here was sort of what is the solution and what differentiates you. So I think you can get clear on your solution in your pitch.
Thank you, Evelina. Anyone else?
What made me wonder a little bit is I believe hydrogen will take up a lot of space when transported. So you probably need to compress it quite significantly. And then I started being a little afraid having compressed things out there in the sky at 30,000 feet. But it's because I just probably don't understand things.
Got it. Thank you, Sami.
That's small stuff, you know.
Thank you so much, Eva. Thank you for your page. I believe you got some interesting feedback. Of course, we'll be at the end of the event announcing a community for Nordic Startup Festival and Nutty Ventures, where everybody can stay connected in an embedded ecosystem of community tools. So we'll announce that more towards the event.
Okay,
And
so am I understanding correctly that Eva will not answer anything? We will
yeah,
talk
if you
later.
have a question, you can. Yeah, of course, that can be
Can I
done. We
just-
have a short time.
Let
Yeah.
me just say something, because there were a lot of questions about the technology.
Yeah.
So the first fuel cell was invented in 1839. The
Mhm.
first flight took place in 1903. The first commercial use of fuel cells for transportation was by NASA Gemini in the 1960s. The first supersonic flight was by Concorde in 1973.
Mhm.
And UK-based ZeroAvia and Germany-based H2Fly have in 2020 and 2016 respectively flown with hydrogen electric drivetrains. So essentially what we're doing is combining all of these elements and repackaging them to allow for larger aircraft, greater speeds, and longer distance without compromising on sustainability. So in the team, we have former founders, former VC professionals, and a team of aviation engineers. And we're applying to the Norwegian Research Council for a 50% funding of a project that will look at the entire drivetrain. Our partners are the Norwegian Institute of Energy Technology, the University of Southeast Norway, and the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, who have hypersonic test facilities that are critical to accelerating the development of our engine. We applied for a patent this week. We're cornering the supersonic sustainable market. Absolutely. We'll have
These
all
are
of
awesome.
we will have all of the supersonic startups come crawling to us when they get to 2027 and they realize that 7 times higher carbon intensity than subsonic travel just doesn't fly. It flies in the face of everything we're doing to reduce emissions. That's all it does.
Like
Thank
it.
you. Thank you, Eva. Thank you. Great. We'll move to our next page where we will, so if it's okay, we can share your LinkedIn profiles for all the investors here, and the connections can build up.
But we
in
have
that
the
way.
email
Yeah.
addresses to the ventures, right? So I
Yeah.
can contact Eva. It's for sure super interesting, Eva. I will.
It's eva@cdnord.com.
Cool.
Okay, great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
for
so
your feedback.
much. We move to our next page. Let's see, I'll share my screen now again, because there's this technical bit which needs to be done every time for 7 more pitches. So Colin, you are next. with your startup.
Hey, my name is Colleen and I'm the founder of Heat, the first fair and sustainable Swedish condom brand. Stay protected in the heat of the moment. In Sweden, STIs are increasing and the numbers of abortions are among the highest in whole Western Europe. This is associated with high costs for the Swedish healthcare system. Condoms are currently the only prophylactic and contraceptive method. However, according to research, only 30% of the Swedes are using a condom. With Heat, we are aiming to increase the numbers of condom usage by improving the size and shape of condoms. Eco-social sustainability is one of our core values, which is why we are producing the rubber in collaboration with small-scale farmers and so-called agroforestry systems, which increases the biodiversity as well as the microclimate. Besides, the farmers are also having another means of income, making them less affected by the fluctuation rates in the rubber price. Heat condoms are also vegan and free from animal testing. Compared to our competitors, we are thus addressing a target group that is concerned about sustainability. We encourage greater protection in the heat of the moment with a discreet design packaging our condoms in matchboxes. Like this, we aim to make it less embarrassing to purchase the condoms in a store or have them lying around openly at home. Our customers will also have the option to order the condoms one time or in form of a subscription model on our website. And if you want to find your perfect match, then reach out to us on strikeheat.com.
Thank you so much. I'll stop sharing here. And welcome, Colleen. We can have a quick feedback session, and then if there is a question you want to ask directly, that we can do. But we have around 3 minutes with us, 2.5, 3 minutes.
All right, so super curious about the way that you're producing the rubber. Is it another type of rubber or is it the same? Because I know that several don't use condoms because of the rubber in itself and that they get, I don't know, friction.
Allergies.
I don't know what it is, but.
Yeah. Should I answer directly? So it's produced, it is the rubber, it is produced in a kind of biological way. So it's called agroforestry systems, where among the rubber trees, you plant different other trees, which increases the biodiversity as well as the microclimate. We are strictly against the other non-rubber free condoms because that's produced with oil, with petroleum, and that's really not good for the environment. And as our highest motivation is that we want to have a positive impact on the environment, we are not fulfilling that section, or that are not our customers or target customers.
Right, but will this get a better material for humans that are allergic for plastic that they react for?
So if they are allergic to rubber, we can't fulfill it. But if they're allergic to milk protein, which is used currently in the production process, or are vegan, then we can fulfill that, because then we can target them. But we can't, or we are currently not producing rubber-free condoms, as that's linked to.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Really, really cool venture. Are you in contact in Sweden with the RFSU, the sexual?
I'm not in contact with them yet because they are currently our biggest competitors. But
are they though? I'm thinking that they would be someone that you sell them to, because they get a better deal.
It could be, but then our aim is to make something sustainable and a holistically sustainable company. And currently, I'm afraid if we strike, or if we are driving too fast for just profit maximization, our whole impact about making a holistically sustainable company from the beginning of the value chain to the end fact will be lost. So therefore, I think currently RFSU is a competitor, but we are not aiming on collaborating with them at the moment.
Okay, I saw them more as customers, that they would pay for your development and stuff like that. So you will have these larger forces to do better. But
quick question, if I may. Colleen, quickly. Obviously, you're setting up your own distribution model here, right? Which I like. That's great. It looks like a business to consumer case. Yeah. How much money are you looking at now in the next round?
So currently, to start the first production, we are only needing 10,000 euros. So which is not a big money investment, but we are looking for an investor who is sharing the same values as we are, and thus could contribute.
That's my second point. Running a business to consumer case requires much more capital in marketing than business to business. So this is, you need to have way more money than that.
I know, but currently our business model is two splitted. So first we're aiming to establish the market B2C as fast as possible, but then also establish collaboration with healthcare centers as well as resellers. I'm aware that we need more money, but it also depends really on our investors because we want to have a sustainable business. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, David, and thank you, Colleen. We'll move to the next startup. But you're welcome to join community. We'll send out all those details tonight or tomorrow, where all this later on discussion will happen. Brilliant. Thank you so much. We'll move to the next startup case now, and I'll share my next video here. So Yasser, you are on stage with from Bangladesh. Hope it's not too late for you.
Hello everyone, this is Yasir Arafat. I'm representing Upon Wellbeing Limited here. We have created an omni-channel marketplace to create the health and economic well-being of the industrial workers in Bangladesh. You know, the ready-made garment sector is the major economic engine of the country. It exports around $52 billion worth of goods, the world's second largest. It employs around 4 million workers and earn 86% of total export earnings of the country. Despite this, the workers' well-being is not regarded as the priority of the sector. Often the issue is the salary, the inflation adjustment, or the health expenses that they need to be. This came up with a solution to ensure workers' well-being through an inclusive model. We have created a model of with that we established fair price shop inside the factory premises from where the worker can buy their daily necessities in up to 10% discount. We have around 600 products. Most of the products are like the grocery items like oil, fish, fruits, and other daily necessities. Also, if any worker buy $23 worth of goods consecutively for 3 months, then from 4th month to next 1 year, they get free health insurance. Also, they can buy on credit, meaning if they buy for the whole month in credit, it automatically adjusted to their next month's salary. This ensures the health benefit for the workers and also save money for them to improve their real income. Upon is founded by Saifrosh. Upon got several awards from organizations like Tommy Hilfiger, Dubai Expo, MetLife Foundation, Y-Gap, and Roots of Impact. Currently, Upon has a team of 60 young professionals and we are running 27 shops. In next 2 years, we have a plan to open 102 more shops. Besides that, we also get invitation from India and Ethiopia. Currently, we are raising $800,000 in pre-seed investment round, and those are in equity or in debt form. Thanks everyone.
Thank you so much, Yasser. Is Yasser online? Yes. Hi, Yasser.
Yeah.
Thank you. You could
Hello.
join us. Over to the investors. We have 3 minutes.
I wanted someone else to talk, but
Well, I can start. I find that you don't want to take them all, but so I had a hard time actually understanding the whole like business model. It has a lot of legs to it, but is it basically that you're somehow able to buy goods wholesale so cheap that you can give a certain group of people, you can give a major discount, and then still use your margins in order to provide them with healthcare, or is that the model?
Yes, it is. It is. We have partnership with like the corporate companies from where we can buy on credit, also sometimes in cash. So we buy the goods and there is a margin for us. We sacrifice some of our margin for our lower income people, customers who are mainly the RMG workers. And also we sell on credit. We provide them the health insurance. So that is our model. And the margin we get like something around 9 to 10%. That is like whole about our business margin.
I like the cooperative kind of idea that you have, would you be able to share something else with the customers that are using your service further along? Not only groceries and health insurance, would you add other benefits?
Yes, it's like a super shop for us. So
Yeah.
health insurance we are not providing. It's a free loyalty benefit for them. So in a super shop, like we also sell perishable fruits, fish, and all of the necessities. If you consider a 7-Eleven or more than that, we are that. But we are the main difference between a regular super shop is we are inside the factory premises. So only the factory workers and the factory employee can purchase from our shop.
I think it's a very, very nice idea. It's a very, very nice way of giving an opportunity for healthcare. I don't know how the system works in India. I guess we can't get into that now, but I understand the opportunity and so forth to create a large grid and then use the purchasing power from another. Stay true to the cause, I would say, and don't become too greedy.
I have a question here as well in regards to entry barriers for potential prospective competitors. Would you say that you have an unfair competitive advantage in any way, or can anyone just go ahead and do this?
Yeah, obviously there are competition, but I think we have a big advantage that we came in the industry earlier. So in the RMG industry, it's estate inside the estate. Every factory we call as a state. They have their own regulations, rules. So the trust is the main fact. I think in last 5 years, we built that to the industry people. Now we didn't need to go to the factory owners. They come to us that please open this. And in the country, they're becoming a big revolution that everyone wants a fair price shop for their customers because it helps them to reduce their absenteeism. Also, it reduces their turnover rate for the workers. Workers are being like the most crisis factor for the factory owners in recent days. So they want to have these benefits for their workers. And in return, like we are not doing charity, we are doing business. And hopefully like with next 15 to 20 shops, we'll reach our break even. We are shooting for that actually.
I have to say, I kind of like the full circle that we're kind of coming with this business where during the Industrial Revolution,
and then also
factories provided people with place to sleep, place to eat, healthcare, everything. And then it all was taken away. And now you guys are kind of bringing it back with the new business.
But I also think it's an interesting opportunity also for new brands to establish themselves on the Indian market, go through you. So I guess I'll call you.
Right, please.
Brilliant. We'll move to the next pitch. It's a short pitch session. Of course, it's
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yasir, that you could join us. We'll continue our discussion. I'll go to, I see here, I'll just giving a shout out to Prateek. Prateek, yours was the next presentation. We don't see you around, so I'll move to the next startup now. Alina, it is you who's next.
Hi, my name is Alina, and I'm the CTO at the Ukrainian startup Zili app, and we are revolutionizing the way people sell and grow their income. Our target audience is more than 40 million entrepreneurs from the United States and Latin America. For now, we have more than 8,000 users, and our MRR is $12,000. We got this result in just 2 months of sales. So our clients are micro entrepreneurs and self-employed in the service sector, and they chose our product because being unable to increase their online sales due to the lack of computers, especially in Brazil, Mexico, and Chile. So, and our solution is growth marketing app that drives more business revenue for known marketers with super easy marketing tools. So let me show you how it works. You just need to add key information about your company, and we will generate a website for your business, ad scripts for your business on Facebook ads and Google AdWords, and we will also integrate sales tools for your business, such as CRM system and analytics, so you can easily communicate with your clients and process all the requests. So our business model is SaaS freemium. Our unit economy is profitable and clear. Our customer acquisition cost is $40 and lifetime value is $170. And in this September, our MRR will be $30,000. So we started working together with our team 7 years ago. We have first specialists from marketing, sales, development, and many other industries. During the previous year, we won more than $150,000 in equity-free grants and also raised $100,000 in pre-seed rounds of investments. And during this year, we will attract more than 100,000 users in our application. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alina, for being here. Anyone who wants to go? I didn't understand how much are you willing to raise, or are you not raising capital at this time?
We are raising $1 million, and we have for 400,000 from our existing Silicon Valley investors, and we are looking for 600,000.
Okay, so over to our panelists.
So I like these business models that are kind of going after the real long tail of businesses. We have one in our portfolio that is kind of operating with a similar model. So you're early in the market, but do you already have some early signs of what your kind of customer acquisition cost versus lifetime revenue per customer is going to be?
Yeah, so we are like experts in paid traffic in Facebook and Google. So we attract our customers from Facebook and Instagram and TikTok for now, and we're connecting Google. So we spend $7 per trial subscriber for now, and we have a great conversion rate because our conversion rate per trial subscriber is 6%, and also 30% we have for like registration conversion rate. Yeah, and our LTV is $170, but this result we got in just 2 months of sales. So we need more time to learn which our LTV is like is in real time.
But still, getting that amount of users in 2 months is actually that's a great accomplishment by itself. So yeah.
Thank you.
I might ask a question as well. How much of this user acquisition that you did in 2 months, 8,000 plus members, how much of that is basically because you're really good at marketing, as opposed to the marketing is actually needing the product?
Are you talking about some like user activity in the product, or?
Well, pretty much what I'm asking is like, how big is this market? Because there are plenty of other competitors out there that do a version of what you're doing, right? And you're targeting a specific niche, which was quite big as of the pitch, right? So where do you see the most initial traction as of now? Where does these 8,000 come from?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest part of these users is from Brazil. The second place is US, and then Mexico and Chile. We see that Brazilian users are super active, so we think that our biggest target audience will be in Brazil.
Okay. Is there any specific niche underneath that market? So yes. Where do you see the traction?
Yeah, for now we have a lot of manufacturers, technicians, also lawyers, and even NFT creators.
Okay, interesting. How does the how does the economics work on your business as of now? Because you said 8,000 members and you had 12,000 something in revenue. That's 0.6 per user per month, right? So basically you're saying that someone who uses your platform will probably use it for 2 years before it breaks, or you sort of lose them. And can you support that claim with some like retention data as well? Like what's your retention as of now?
Yeah, for now, as we calculated, we have for retention approximately 20%. But the main idea is that for now, the main function is that our users create websites, and then they add these websites to their social media or their marketplaces and so on. But now we are connecting tools for online promotion, such as Facebook ads and Google. So that is why our retention will be like 2 times bigger or 3 times bigger. Yes, because they will still use our product.
Gotcha. Who's your lead investor in you said Silicon Valley?
Yes, we have our investors. So the main investor is Pavlo Podolyanko. He is their managing partner in Customer Ventures.
Yep. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Got it. We'll move to the next page. We'll continue in contact with you, Evelina. Thank you for a great presentation. Questions means there is engagement on what you're building. So we'll move to our next startup. Thank you to Zili for being here. Let me just see which one we have next. We have Joshua joining in from HeartNet. Joshua, if you are there, Sukul and production team, if you can let them in. And we'll start with HeartNet.
I'm Joshua, CEO at HeartNet, where we combine blockchain with digital twins to address factors that drive higher prevalence of hypertension. Did you know that more than 1.4 billion people have hypertension, and every year 10 million people die due to this? According to the WHO, substandard drugs are leading factors that contribute to hypertension's higher prevalence. More than 45% of substandard drugs are sold in Africa. Enforcement agencies are overwhelmed by the influence of these drugs, and scratch-off labels used to authenticate through SMS protocol have failed to curb fake drugs. Countries now seek solutions that provide deep authentication through track and trace with real-time data. For example, by 2024, Nigeria requires all drugs locally made and imported to fully comply to its track and trace regulation and verifiable at all levels of supply chain. This is why we are building HeartNet. Our patent-imminent approach combines blockchain with digital twins that allows us to stand out in the market. To treat the more than 80 million people living with hypertension in Nigeria, more than 700 million authentic drugs are to be sold per year. This is why manufacturers are currently looking for a track and trace solution or risk losing their position in the market. At an average spend of 15,000 Nigerian naira, which is same as $37, the Nigerian market stands at $32 billion. In preparation to enter this market, we've trademarked our Beyond the Pill approach and already made inroads with partners and initial customers who now wait to join our commercial pilot. This is why we're raising 220,000 in a pre-seed. We have a team of 8 persons combining several years of relevant experience. We're excited at the growing traction and looking for funding partners to help us move faster.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Is he joining us? Great. Brilliant. Whoever wants to go, we have, as usual, this time really 3 minutes. Yeah. Because we every time run 1 minute more.
Well, I mean, I think this is thank you, Joshua, for your presentation. As a Finnish company, I'm certain that you've been in contact with Butterfly Ventures already, because this is something that we would look into, not saying that we're experts, but this is a very interesting way of tracking. And I would really like to talk to you more about the opportunity in itself. So I'll contact you afterwards. I'll let the other ones ask.
I have a question related to intellectual property. I think you mentioned the patents here, and patents in blockchain are somehow difficult to gel. So tell me more about that. How do you manage to do that, and how does it look like? You're on mute still, Joshua.
Yeah, thank you. Do you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right, yeah, thank you. So our patent is basically on the digital twins. What really happens is, for example, here is a product in my hands that has been used to treat hypertension in Nigeria. And what you do is you just bring this product in contact with your phone. That is exactly what we are patenting, and we already have filed for it already.
Any other points from any questions?
So I'm a how should I say? I'm not a big fan of applying blockchain across different things, probably due to the fact that I've been in security business since 1998 and involved in the early phases of PKI infrastructure and certificate authorities and whatnot. But how does blockchain really relate to verifying whether a drug is genuine or not? I mean, I don't think drugs change hands so that the chain would kind of be created. How do you what really is the benefit of applying that here?
Yeah, so in this case, we have two benefits. Number one is we have the NFT side. So the digital twin itself is a cloud-based data solution. Mm-hmm. The alternative to what we have right now is master data files provided by barcodes. But with digital twin, it creates a more holistic solution than the master data files that has been sent from the manufacturers of the drugs to the enforcement organization. Now, the digital twin is resident on the blockchain, and it also carries an NFT, which is basically a certificate of authentication for the drug itself. That's how we're using blockchain in this application.
So the NFT is basically minted to show what the truck would need to look like when it's in your hand, or is that it?
Exactly, yeah, right from manufacturing side.
Okay, thanks.
Are you building your own chain, or are you using other?
At the moment, we haven't. At the moment, we're using other blockchains, which is Binance Smart Chain, but we hope to build our own blockchain post fundraising.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Joshua, we'll move to the next startup. We'll continue this discussion. We'll reach out with more information. But thank you so much for being here, presenting HeartNet, and we move to the next startup. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Now we have Luma. I think I'm just checking with production team. Is Louis here? Great. 3 more pitches, or maybe 1 more after this, or maybe 2 more.
Hi, thank you so much for listening. My name is Luis Medina, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Luma, and we turn electric vehicles into energy storage. Now, our mission is very clear. We want to democratize the energy transition and empower individuals in the fight against climate change. And we think we can do that because of a unique opportunity. See, a car is parked for 95% of its lifetime. So an electric vehicle is just a big battery on wheels. And with 130 million electric vehicles being sold in the EU in the next 10 years, that's 130 million potential batteries just waiting to be used. And that's exactly what we do. Luma is a cloud-hosted algorithm that connects to and controls the charging and discharging of electric vehicles all throughout a city, essentially turning them into the world's largest virtual battery. But what does that mean? Let's say we identify a client building like an apartment complex where we know there's going to be a lot of electric vehicles. We connect our software to the chargers there and aggregate those vehicles and turn them into a virtual power plant that we can charge and discharge. With that, we can now reinforce a power grid and substitute fossil fuel power plants that are providing that service today. And that's how we make a profit. Now, the best part is to increase our capacity, all we have to do is connect to more client buildings all around the city. Now, in order to incentivize an EV owner to use our service, not only do we reduce the battery degradation of their vehicle over its lifetime, but the longer they charge with us, the more charging rewards they earn, essentially turning their vehicle into a passive revenue stream. Essentially, they're able to make money and contribute to the energy transition. Our business is incredibly scalable. We can make up to 25 million euros in net income by the 5th year of operation, and we have a super low CAC recovery time because we don't pay for the electric vehicle, we don't pay for the charger, and we don't pay for the electricity. We just leverage existing assets to generate value. We currently have a letter of intent signed with one of the major EV charging companies in Sweden. We have an MVP and white paper to come out this month, and we have 2 pilot projects lined up for the next year. We're currently asking for 300,000 euros in funding, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Love this. Thank you so much for being here. This is the coolest ever.
Yeah.
You know, when you grid it up, it's amazing.
I was just wondering, because we had in the morning, Terhi joined in from Helen Ventures. They are more like Series A. And we also had Catapult. So they are also into climate tech. But good presentation. Martin, you are here. So we have 2 co-founders here. Over to you, panelists. We have after this 2 more pitches, so 3 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to be quick. This is really interesting. I'm actually looking into EV generally, how you actually connect and you build bigger platforms and so forth. And you're already working with a couple of them. Obviously, we need to be in contact and we need to discuss how to move forward. I think this is amazing. Thank you guys for being here. It's fantastic.
I totally agree. This is really good stuff. I've been in a meeting with a couple of property asset management companies, and they're looking for exactly this solution. So get in touch with me after. I can probably set you up quite fast. Are you pre-revenue now, or have you started?
Yes, we are pre-revenue. Yeah, we have a working prototype of the algorithm that we're releasing a white paper this month. But yeah, we have the LOIs lined up, and we want to start those pilots pretty soon.
Really good.
I mean, this is perfect for airport parking garages where you know that people are going to be away, but I would not be part of this every day because I use my hybrid. Sometimes I need it in 5 minutes, sometimes I need it in 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't always know, and then having the battery empty is the challenge there. So but I'm sure you don't drain the cold battery; you just drain a little bit, and then
exactly.
They don't drain it.
No, we can actually. So yeah, exactly to your point. We never drain the battery past a certain state of charge. So there's always enough. If there's an emergency, you can always go somewhere. But also the type of service we provide is only really activated for a couple of minutes, maximum 20 minutes at a time. So even the worst case scenario, it's not going to drain your vehicle that much. So yeah.
Yeah, you just need a lot of cars, but
yeah. And the more, the better. That's the point, right?
Yes, and we actually, what we try to do is we're doing machine learning to try to predict the schedule of each individual user, so we can have within certain amount of certainty saying, okay, you're going to be, every Monday or Wednesday or Friday, you come in and leave at, similar times because you have a schedule, etc. And then, that's how we try to get ahead of the uncertainty.
What I kind of like about this is that I did a version of what you're doing 8 years ago. That was actually the reason why I got some money to start investing in startups. So I think it's definitely come of age as of now. The real problem is really to figure out how the business models actually will work and how you incentivize people to actually use it. That was our main problem. We had problems with getting the distribution nets on board as well as the producers on board, so they would actually back us, because we essentially create intermittent production for them, which they don't like at all. And so it would be fun to see how that sort of changed from way back until now, because I think there's essentially a lot of proxies in the grid, right, as of now, that could help you accumulate that kind of effect that you want.
Stockholm based, right? You're based here.
Yeah.
So
we saw
could probably put you together with the city of Stockholm, because they now have, I think, just rolled out 10,000 of the charging places that they have in the larger parking spaces where that would be amazing to just do it, because they don't want to waste power, because we need to have that for others as well. So this is really cool.
I think that'll be a
genuinely
great
happy that this happens.
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much from Luma. Thank you so much for showing up, doing the pitch. We'll continue this discussion forward. We have 2 more pitches. I'm checking with production and Sukul. Okay. And we have, let's start with the music one. Thank you, Louis and Martin.
Thank you so much also.
And
thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Let's see, we'll go with, should we go with Pratik now? Okay, we'll go with Sune. That page is ready.
Hi, I'm Sune Gjerl, founder and CEO of Artalize, the world of performing arts in one location. Before I had an international career as an opera singer. Today, 1 billion fans and 40 million professionals in performing arts have no IMDb or LinkedIn. This means lost opportunity, lost revenue, and not least lost talent. Artalize is all data, all fans, all producers, and all artists in one location. So how do we do this? We use specialized AI to globally aggregate events and metadata about performing arts. This means no cold start issues and a platform ready to scale and make money in single player mode. For fans, producers, and artists, the same data can be monetized within discovery, market overview, marketing and content monetization, and finally, artistic planning. We tap into a market for professionals of 38 billion euros and later for the fans of 108 billion euros. We just launched, and by the end of the year, we cover the entire US. This means that by end 2023, we will have 110,000 paying clients, and 5 million unique monthly visitors. If we compare to event sites, they are no match for Artelize on business model, feature set, and coverage. We have a strong team of business insiders, technologists, and second-time entrepreneurs. Our strong advisor and investor team comes from Tesla, Google, Warner, and leading AI companies. We are looking to raise 1 million euros, so come join us in creating the global performing arts renaissance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's see if Sune is here. And we can, of course, start with the feedback while he joins in.
Yes, I kind of like this music thing. This hits close to my heart. And like I would, if it wasn't for the last slide, I would have sort of cut this from the waist down. But damn, those investors! How do you actually pull that off? I mean,
10 years of network and working in the performing arts industry and the performing arts tech has given us a lot of friends, and there are a lot of people concerned with helping this industry forward into the 21st century.
Okay, I'm a little amazed by that. It's yeah. I'll shut up now.
So I kind of have a question for you, because I've met quite a lot of startups trying to kind of shake up the music industry from the long tail, and from different angles, and so what do you think makes you unique? What do you think makes this one being the winning model over many of the others? What have you figured out that others haven't?
Yeah, our secret sources are AI to aggregate metadata and data from the whole from the internet at large, instead of having contributions from random people who happens to sign up to the platform that we have seen so many times, all the way back to MySpace. It doesn't work because everybody who comes in wants to have their own fulfillment, and this means if their band or their favorite artists are not there, they don't get that fulfillment. So that's our secret sauce. We are engaged in a huge project to gather all information out there in one location, and then attract all the different stakeholders. Once we have that informant, that crucial, you can say, the critical mass of spectators and audience coming into the platform, then it's also very attractive for the arts organizations and the artists to be there and sell their goods, you can say, and merchandise directly to the fans.
I actually love that. So you basically scrape and reformat and present the data that is already out there.
Because we are Google of IMDb of performing arts.
Yeah, these things have the chicken and egg problem very often, and you've kind of solved it in a very neat way. So that's great. I don't totally agree with your accessible market size though, because I looked at the whole music industry today, and you claim your market size to be double that. So that may not.
But we are also performing arts, performing arts, not just music. So it's a broader spectrum actually, and there's a lot of things going on in the live spectrum that is maybe not represented in that report.
Sure.
Perfect. Do we have any last comment, or should we move to the last presentation?
Just last comment. Thank you for a great pitch. I just have a question for you, because I mean, marketplaces in general can be tricky. This is like two groups to cater for. But what would you say is your biggest challenge right now?
It is actually to get people to, especially investors, to get behind this very unicorn kind of niche in the market. Many people think that we are too exotic because of the niche. So it's actually to convince the VCs and angels that this is something that is definitely worth looking at. That is one of our major challenges. Of course, you have seen we have great people behind us already, but it is heavy lifting to get into the market when we have to aggregate all data beforehand. We are actually so far with this that in 3 to 6 months from now, we will have aggregated all data about the US, and we are starting with California. So it's going really fast because the AI model is getting faster and faster. And that's the critical, to reach that critical mass that we will get from being an IMDb to actually becoming a marketplace. That is our major challenge, and that needs some resources to get there.
Okay, brilliant.
Just repackage your traction and then go for American investors. I mean,
exactly.
Show your traction, show your big acquisition, and then go. Like
within our first week in the market, we had our first paying clients, so it's going fast. We just need to get that SEO up and running, so we are on the first page on every time you make a search for something in the performing arts space.
I'm checking the chat. Somebody also mentioned, do you have a crowdfunding page? So that's on the chat.
We have just made an NFT, the Arslice NFT, so you can actually buy an NFT where you will get benefits in the long run also from being a special.
Can you distribute that, please?
NFT. Yeah, I will just give that link directly now afterwards.
Perfect. Thank you, Sune. We'll move to our last startup pitch. Per Hedberg is here for our discussion on the fireside chat on Sting. We will be starting that in around 5 minutes past. Sorry, we are overrunning this by 2 to 3 minutes. So we're bringing our last startup here, Pratik, and we are sharing this. Hold on.
Hello everyone, I'm Pratik Singh, founder and CEO of FinAdvance, where we are replicating human biology reliably. The challenge what we are trying to solve is this very expensive and time-consuming drug development process, which you might know takes more than 10 years and upwards of $2 billion for every drug which you see on the market right now. The problem arises because we use an extensive number of animals, 10 million in Europe alone, to do preclinical trials which fail to mimic human physiology, leading to more than 90% failure at the clinical trial stage. At FinAdvance, we are developing a hardware biotech platform where we are able to mimic the most important organs of the human body for preclinical drug testing by the pharma. We have already shown that on our platform, we are able to meet and sometimes exceed the current animal standards. With already 24 assays on every single platform, we are the world's leading throughput platform provider in our field. The market area for preclinical R&D, pharma R&D, exceeds 150 billion euros every year, and we have more potential not only in cosmetics, food, but as well as chemical industry. Our science has been proven in peer-reviewed research journals, as well as we have a very strong IP background with more than 14 patents filed or granted. We are a team of engineers, researchers, and business developers, 17 in total based in Finland, with more than 40 publications and 20 patents under our name, now scaling to US, Japan, and European markets. If you would like to know more, please check out our new website and also come and talk to me after this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think Joel is joining us for the startup. Yeah. Hi.
Thank you so much, Joel, for a presentation. Really, really super interesting venture that you have. I also know that the industry of developing drugs is extremely slow to adapt to new ways of doing it. So I hope that the track that you have will actually be able to move into the certain areas of where it actually will be used, so we stop using animals. I think it's just so cruel. Are you in contact with the Umeå and the biotech incubator up there? Have you heard of them before? I'll put them together. I'll put you together with them. I think that would be really helpful for you because you do drug development there as well in the legs there. Yeah,
that would be great. Thanks.
So this probably cannot be applied for all the different drugs. How large part of the market do you think you can actually solve or help with this solution?
Well, I don't want to say you're wrong, but
you can say that.
Yeah. No, I mean, basically every drug that we do, if it's orally or through our, respiratory tissue or through skin, every drug has to pass some kind of barrier, like is it skin, or if it's especially what we have been doing is developing the artificial blood-brain barrier, which is in CNS-related diseases is the main barrier, basically, that we can't get the drug from the circulation into the brain. So in that sense, I would say, yes, sure, there probably are some drugs that we cannot then use it, but mostly I would actually say that basically every drug has to across some kind of barrier, and there we are basically providing that, whether it's gut, lung, vascular, or the BBB. So in that sense, it is more or less all the drugs, but of course there might be some areas that this is not applicable.
Wow, this is super exciting.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it's almost revolutionary. So it's and you say that how high is the accuracy on this comparing to animals? Animals is low. I know that.
Yeah, well, basically what we do is we have animal models and we have human models. We are still developing some of the aspects of the human models, and we have, as you can imagine, we have multiple different tissue types we are developing at the same time. But with the mouse BBB, with mouse blood-brain barrier, which we have modeled, we have gotten the exact same kind of levels of drug delivery, drug permeation from the circulation into the brain tissue, which we can see in the kind of in vivo, so in the actual biological setting. When compared to, let's say, the current gold standard, if you do it in laboratory without, before you go to animals, we can see that those models are roughly 100 times leakier. So we can, even if you do your testing with these old-fashioned, laboratory plastic hardware, those results might not tell you anything. And then you go to mouse models, and that might not tell you anything about whether it will be used in human or it can be used in humans. So that is what we are building, is the actual the human model that you can then use and get better accuracy from that.
Awesome.
Really cool. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Joel, and thank you for being here. And I'd like to thank that we overran the time by 3 minutes, 4 minutes almost. So thank you all for being here. We'll be announcing our community in around a couple of hours time. And thank you, Anette, Evelina, David, Sami, and Simon. Thank you.